So now I'm really curious because the Amazon package showed up. Doesn't look very big. So maybe they're light bulbs? I don't know. We're going to find out. And if we don't like it, we're going to send it back and just get the controller. So that is supposed to be the controller and the lights. So is it for a little tiny baby one? I don't know. Okay, there's the lights themselves. And not much in there. And this is our controller, which is also dinky. Whoop. Sure, not breaking it. So, tells us our wiring diagram, circuit board function. So it says how to set up a time. So let's see, we've got AC volts, 85 volts to 260, and the neutral. Again, no ground. So the real question is, how do you mount those in the lamps themselves? Are these made for smaller lamps than we have? Let's get around out, take a look-see. This is our green LEDs, our red LED, and then, of course, our yellow. So, very curious. And then these are, look to be what our controllers are. So each one has its own little hookups. Now we can continue to use this, but we don't need to because what I understand, these actually goes directly into our controller. So let's pull our controller out of here so we can see what we've got here. So we've got zip ties. That one's caught in there. We have wire nuts. It's probably for our 110 coming in. And then we have our controls. This is where your voltage comes in, AC voltage comes in, and then out to your lights. Neutral light, and it tells you which one it is. And then you've got LEDs on here to let you know which one's lit. These are your timer settings, plus, minus, mode, and down. So what we want to do is we want to hook one of these up. I want to see how bright it is before I start going through and wiring everything in. So let's wire that red one in and see how it goes. Oh, it also comes with little stanchions that you can put through the holes, and that'll allow them, and then they're double-sided sticky tape so we can put it right inside. We'll end up putting it in the middle with the other one if this all works. So we're going to start in the middle. Okay, got that. Now let me go grab me a couple of small wires because I'm going to do the same thing I did with the extension cord with this and wire it in that way hard, and that way I can see whether or not this is even going to be a project that I'm going to bother tackling or pack it all back up and send it back to China. Because it definitely, that's a small light for that, but it may be brighter than the bulbs. We'll see. our board. Set this aside. And if these were made for a regular street light like this, I think they'd all be white because the lenses are what give you the color. So I'm thinking these go to some hokey little thing. Question is this a digital controller? And if it is, then this won't work at all for me with those lights. I'll have to actually find an analog. But let's see how bright they are. Might be something that we can do about it. Let me find my power cord. Because we don't really want it super bright, we can also use the lens for the backdrop. And that'll kind of hold it in place a little bit better. So let's do that. Let's pull this off. I've got a piece of paper down on the ground underneath the circuit board to keep it from shorting out. It also comes with an extra fuse. It's fused in there, so that makes it really nice. So let's see, we want to feed in our green. Okay. Just going to set our covers in place. Timing needs to be a little spread out a little bit more, but I do believe this will work. Very minimal voltage. So yeah, definitely nice. So in all actuality, I don't need to cut up that big cord. I can keep that big cord for something else. And just use a regular old extension cord. So the next thing I need to do is go ahead and mount the board and figure out how to mount the lights in. Okay. Well, I think that's a successful test. Now, I think that the mirrors do add quite a bit to it. And the nice thing about it is they're in there, so that makes it easier. So, but first things first, let's put in our board. Okay, so we want to position it a little more towards that direction so that we have all this extra space and the wiring comes back through here. So we're going to put it right there. And just push down. And now it is part of it. So there we go. Now, next one is we're going to go ahead and wire in each module. And what we're going to do is we're going to wire these in. That way all we have to do is place the lights. So let me go grab these three. Because we're not really sure yet how we're going to mount the LEDs inside the dome itself. Like I said, this is aluminum. So, and the circuitry runs in a circle there, so these corners can be bent up. Just remember which one goes where. This is the red. I would love to figure out a way to sticky tape that on there, but I don't think that'll work. Basically, you're going to follow the same process for red, green. So I ordered a better cord anyway. I ordered one with a ground and everything. A nice 6-footer. a little bit thicker than the other one. So I know that this is a low voltage unit, but we want to make sure that we're safe and we're running a good voltage. This one also has a ground, so I'll be able to ground it to the unit itself. So it'll be a lot safer, more up to what it should be as opposed to what it's not. So I'm going to finish double sticky taping these into the mirrors, and then we can finish wiring up our power and make sure everything's working fine there, and kind of go from there. So I'm going to kind of zip you guys through this so you don't have to endure the whole thing. But it's just, I'll kind of give you a brief update when I'm done. So. And then the ground, we're just going to hook right in. There's a connector for the old assembly that's grounded right into the, or I should say, screwed right into the unit itself. So we can use that one as our grounding spot. Okay, now we've got a good ground too, so there we go. Everything we need. Let's go ahead and plug it in, make sure we've got power, because I'd hate to do all this and find out there's something else wrong. These are too thick and they're catching and touching each other, causing a little bit of a short there. We don't need that. So let's shorten these up a whole bunch. Should be good. Try that again. Yeah, there was actually a small wire touching the actual ground itself, so. Okay, now we need to go ahead and finish putting this all together. We do want to clean these lenses too, so. Like I say, with these colored lenses, you could almost go with white LEDs. You just need the controller. Okay, the last thing I want to do, notice that this has got a little bit of discolor, so I'm going to have to come back later and I'm going to have to touch this up, straighten it out, but we can go ahead and clean it because it's all filthy. And to make it flatter, we can remove these covers so it doesn't stick out so far on your wall or ceiling or what have you, which we probably will do shortly. You know, you're putting it outside somewhere, it's one thing, but, you know, not that important. And there you have it. One working traffic light. Now with this controller, you can change your timing on it and everything, so you can make it however you want to do it. I haven't figured out quite how I'm going to hook it up to the power. Definitely want to have it so it's switched, either in the cord or what have you. I do have one of those. I can order one of those Bluetooth remotes and maybe put a switch somewhere near it that is basically designated for this. It's just a matter of putting it in the line. But that's kind of how it works. One of the nice things is if you need to adjust anything, you can open up these, your controllers in your middle, and these have different settings on them based on what you want. So you can open this up, and you open your lineup, and you've got access to the controller right there. Your manual, which I'm going to put in here, tells you how you can set it up. Okay, so now I've got it mounted on the wall. I did two big bolts right into the stud in the wall here. I don't like it this low. I am going to move it farther up. I have it plugged into an outlet here with a Casa switch. It's made by KASA. I'll put a link down in the description. It's controlled through your phone, so you can turn it on and off as you like. You can set it on a timer. You can do whatever you want to do with it. They're nice little switches. I use them for some of my neons that are straying out and about here in the garage. Also, my main lighting on the house, my glow lighting is also on that same type of switch, so I can control pretty much everything from the same switch. It was kind of nice when they came and installed all the lighting, and he goes, yeah, you have to download this Casa app. I'm like, I already got it. So it was a really nice step up. But what's really nice is you can control this light without being near it. They also make the Bluetooth switches that you've seen me install here in the shop. Those work good too, but this one I can turn it on and off from anywhere. So definitely kind of a nice way to do it. But like I said, I'm going to move it up farther. There are close to 39 different settings for these lights. So you can set them the way that you want them. You know, depending upon how you want it, there's multiple different ways of setting. All of the instructions tell you everything that everything does. So you can always read the instructions. But with that, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, throw them out there. Definitely like to hear them, especially if you've done this before. I wasn't able to find a single video where someone had done anything like this before or even wired them up. So hopefully this helps a lot of you guys that have these in your house. And the nice way to switch from light bulbs to LEDs, so you're not using hardly any power at all. This thing barely draws any amperage with those LEDs in there. So again, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.